Here we go. We're ready to go. Are you ready to go? Whoop. Let's go. Got to get in the chair. Make it work. How you doing there, Yosemite? He's ready to go. He's all set for the rest of the cartoon. I love those cartoons back in the day. Really something else. Let's get us going on over here. We're going to bring this forward. I should learn how to use my left hand. We go click Facebook. Here, edit audience. Boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, as you might know, we're a few minutes off the mark here today. That's fine. And if you do a few things, that's fine. Here we go. That was a lot of fun. We're here. We got comments. We got going. We're in the chat room. What did I call the show? Wait a second. Come to think of it, the question is, and the seriousness of the whole thing is, what can you do to help guide our future leaders, our students, our kids, young adults, people in their 20s, 30s, maybe it's even people a little bit older than that. Maybe it's people that have been, let's say, had a few mishaps along the way. A couple of mishaps that kind of steer them way off course. But now they're ready to go. What can we do to help guide them? It was funny. Actually, it wasn't funny. It was one of those things. But a friend of mine, Keith, does comedy shows, Comedy to Go. Pardon for a while, that whole thing. But he was doing free comedy shows at one of the drug rehab centers. So I was just getting involved a little bit with the comedy side of things. So I wanted to see exactly what he does. I was involved with Toastmasters. He's a fellow Toastmaster and wanted to expand my speaking skills. I figured, how do I do that? Want to push the envelope, wanted to do something I've never done before on the speaking side of things. So he's like, well, why don't you try comedy? I was like, oh, yeah. I said, why not? Don't say no. Let's just do it and then see where it winds up. Got to live outside the comfort zone. That was the motto there. Got to live outside the comfort zone. And you know what? I still stand by that one, by the way. Got to live outside your comfort zone within reason. Let's not get crazy here. I'm not climbing Mount Everest tomorrow. I have not the capability, knowledge, stamina, or anything like that. Nowhere near the experience. That would be stupid. That would be living way outside the comfort zone. That'd be living in the stupidity zone. Got one friend of mine that is not living outside the stupidity zone on that one. He's well prepared to go and do it. And he will. Timing's right. He will. For me, nope. 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 I'll climb Mount Washington. I'd like to do Pikes Peak. That's living outside the comfort zone. Climb a 14,000-foot mountain. Never done that before. Never even been to Denver before. That's living outside the comfort zone. That's not living outside the stupidity zone. Well, let me see if my wife commented on this one here. All right, let's go say, and the answer is nope, she has not. So we're okay. When she sees that or hears that, she may disagree with me and say that is living outside or living in the stupidity zone. But getting on a comedy stage is not living outside the stupidity zone. Will you be funny or not? Who knows? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay, it does matter. But in the long term, it doesn't matter. Short term, it matters. Long term, it does not. So I'm at this event. And I asked Keith, is it okay if I go? Again, it's in the drug rehab centers. It's like a halfway house kind of a thing. But the folks that are there are there. They are there. They're there for a number of months and stuff like that. He goes, yeah, sure, you can go. They just need your name, identification, all the rest of that kind of stuff. So, but that's fine. Sure, it's good. It's good. Come down. It's all good. So I'm sitting there. Keith does his routine, stuff like that. And then he starts to introduce me. I was thinking, he's just going to say, hey, there's my friend Brian. He's sitting over here. Wanted to see what was going on. But no. He starts talking about, hey, there's Brian. He lives outside the comfort zone. And I'm like, oh, man. So he has me get up there. And I gave a whirl at trying to be funny. Well, I wasn't funny. I was definitely ill prepared for it. Number one, it was the first time I've been inside one of these homes, halfway houses, or rehab centers. It's a rehab center. It's not a halfway house, a rehab center. for that. New to that whole thing. Keith's got a little experience that way. Got experience that way. So this is first for me. Didn't know what to expect. Age group, much younger than I was at the time. I was 50 maybe. No, probably a little bit younger than that. Maybe 40, mid 40s or something. They were probably 20s. So age difference, not a big deal. I don't really, yeah, whatever. I didn't care. Who knows what they thought, but I didn't really care. Tried to be funny. I don't have a routine, nothing. Actually, anytime I've gotten on stage, I really have not had a routine, just gotten on stage. Stupid, I get it, but whatever. That's a whole nother topic we could discuss. But the thing I mentioned over there, oh, very formal. Karen, that's the wife. She missed that statement about me living outside the comfort zone. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'll tell you about it later or when you listen to the replay on this thing. The idea, though, of me doing a routine in front of them, knowing that one, I was twice their age, a factor, not a big one. Two, they're in jeans, t-shirts, stuff like that. I'm wearing a full suit. I just came from work. Yikes, not good. And I'm not, prepared to do this thing. So I started talking a little bit about some experiences and tried to poke some fun out of, living outside the comfort zone. You wind up doing silly things, speaking in different places, stuff like that. Talked a little bit about it's on a cruise ship. Wound up singing in front of 1,100 people. Gotta find that video. Gotta find that video. That you'll find amusing. Brought that up a couple of times from a career standpoint. But here's the thing I spoke to them about, and I really wonder what long-term impact. I know what the short-term impact was, but what the long-term impact was. And here's basically what I had told them. And obviously I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what it was. I was certainly didn't come with a prepared speech or anything like that. But I had told them in so many cases, in so many things, in so many different ways, aspects of life, and everything that happens to us, whether it is something that we do to ourselves, and I think with most of them, it was stuff that they made a decision to do to themselves. Again, the drug side of things. Maybe some of them had some sort of an illness they were dealing with and got hooked on whatever the drug may be. It's possible. I don't know exactly what their stories were, but somewhere in there's some level of responsibility. It was the decision that was made there. So those folks had that decision, bad decision, wound up in the situation that they were in the rehab center. So you got that aspect of it. And that now makes them a part of who they are. Doesn't make them who they are, but it makes them a part of who they are. Then you have a whole number of other people out there that wind up getting into bad situations, not by choice, just because of, I want to say luck, bad luck, right? Chronic illness people. Is it something they did? No, it's not something they did. It's just bad luck, bad genes, bad whatever, but whatever. It's not that. It's not something that they did, but it is part of who they are. Two totally different things. I mean, just think about this from a driving an aspect. You get into a car crash, right? If somebody hits you and you're sitting at a red light and you've done absolutely nothing, not even moving, that's a bad situation happened to you, just is. Does that affect who you are going forward? Yeah, hopefully not big. Hopefully you're not, there's not permanent damage or anything like that, but it definitely does. I'd venture to say the next time you're sitting at a red light, this happened to a friend of mine. He was at a red light. It was on Vets Highway. If you come off the Northern State Parkway in Hauppauge, you got that first traffic light that's over there. Well, somebody decided to come off the Northern State Parkway and forget the fact that there's a traffic light over there. Just rammed right into him, right at Parkway speed. No permanent damage on his part, anything like that. But I would venture to say, because of that situation, he looks in his rearview mirror when he's sitting at a red light, especially at that red light, just to see if anybody's coming. Remember, defensive drive, they always told you that. If you're going to go into that middle lane to make a U-turn or a left turn, cross traffic, never turn your wheels to the left. You get in that lane and then straighten your wheels out, just in case You do get hit by somebody from behind. This way the car goes straight. You don't get pushed into oncoming traffic. As an aside. But I can tell you one of the reasons why I remember that, or why they came back to my memory, because of what he had told me. Do you think it impacted him? And impacted him permanently? Yeah. Emotionally, or just in the back of his head, or just in the fact that it's a frame of reference, it's there. Now, what about that other person? The other person who came off the parkway and smashed into him. I don't know what the outcome was, for him or her for that fact. I don't even know. But I would venture to say, I can't tell you, I don't know, but I would venture to say that that situation impacted that person on a permanent level, whether it would be physically or emotionally, either way. But it was something that they did. It was a decision that they made. They decided not to pay attention. So it impacted who they are for the rest of their lives, hopefully in a positive manner, that they're a better driver, much more attentive to different things. Hopefully they are. But no matter what, and here's what I told those kids. So no matter what the situation, young men, what I told them is that regardless of the situation you're in it. It is part of you. It is who you are. It is a part of who you are. It will be a part of who you are forever. The question is not that you did whatever you did. The question not is whether or not you are here. You are. The question is what happens when you're not here. What do you do with that? What do you really do with that? And now that they're there and they had time to think, time to contemplate, time to figure out what it is that they really wanted to do, what decisions they really needed to make, they could start making those decisions. Maybe those decisions were to write a book. I spoke about writing a book, becoming a speaker, motivational speaker, talking about how you need to be cautious of different decisions you make and how that impacts you the rest of your life. Maybe they decided to go back and find and fulfill some dream, some hobby that they were interested in doing that they just never did. But now maybe they have a chance to do that because they need to reinvent themselves. And if they know they need to reinvent themselves and they know they need to pick new friends, new groupings, a new situation to be involved with, maybe then they could become their true self. And that's how I really think that we could guide our students, our future leaders today, to help them make decisions, possibly today, but definitely decisions they're going to make tomorrow, the next day, the day after, in the years to come, that'll absolutely impact who they are and what they become. And you can help do that. You should help do that. And I'll tell you from personal experience, it makes you a much happier person. Now, my wife is listening. I'll tell you, it makes you a much happier person. 80% of the time, still have my 20% of the time moments, just so I don't get any crazy comments coming that way. But if you can go out there and you can help somebody directly or indirectly, but definitely with a focus, if you could go out there and help somebody in any way to help guide them, to help them make right decisions, to help them see what their true potential is, to see what it is that they're interested in, to help them be more exposed to different things, to tell your story about how you started your career, about why you chose some industry, about how you became successful, about how you screwed up and then recovered from it. You might have a lasting impact in some person's life. Going back to me speaking to those folks, I wish I followed up on it. I have no idea. I wish I knew where they were today. I have no idea. I hope that they heard something I had to say. I do know that at that time, a number of them came up to me, and that had a permanent impact on me. And they told me that they enjoyed my speech. Now, if I'm sitting up there and I was expecting to be the comic, the humorist, the man who made them laugh, I failed. And I failed horrendously. bottom line is like, I'm not the comic. I'm not the humorist. I'm not the guy that's going to make you laugh for 30 minutes on end. I think I've proven that now just about every day of the week for the past couple of years while doing this and some of the other stuff that I've done. I'm not the funny guy. I've had a few moments in there, but I'm not the funny guy. I'm not. It pays to add humor to different things, get another topic, but I'm not the funny guy. And I think in that case, my true me kind of came out. And it wasn't until I pushed me way out of the comfort zone, or better yet, Keith pushed me way out of the comfort zone, called me out on that one. Wanted to see if I was really true to form, if I really was who I said I was. I was the guy who lives outside the comfort zone. I did, because I didn't hesitate when he said my name. I got right up there. But I then fell back on more of the comments that I would normally make, a little bit more on the motivational side of things, a little bit more on the reflective side of things, a little bit more on what can be in the future. So when those guys came up to me afterwards and they said they enjoyed my speech and were glad that I got up there, I really wonder what the impact was on them. But I know the impact that was on me was the fact that I should continue to do these things. Maybe not comedy. Maybe not comedy. Although I've done that a few times, but not really comedy. There's no career for me in comedy. That's an absolute. I mean, the biggest laugh I get is when I get on stage and say, "Hey, I'm not funny." Boom, boom, boom. And that's where that one goes. But maybe I just left them with a thought or two about the fact that what we do today, what we do tomorrow could have some major impact on our lives forever. Much more meaningful, much more impactful than those mistakes that we've made in the past. So now how can you help? What impact can you have on that one? So many different places to do that. You could write a letter, do a blog, do a podcast, be a guest on someone's show. Plenty of places to do that. There's a Facebook page, need a guest, and there's always people posting stuff on there. All kinds of topics. All kinds of topics. People looking to share their stories of success. People looking to share their, looking for a guest that would share their stories of failure. Religious topics, UFOs. There's always an interesting one too. Believe it or not, I was actually on a show talking about UFOs. It was the craziest thing. I never should have been there. Never, never should have been there. Well, whatever. You live and learn. I've also had guests on I never should have had on. Also, you live and learn. But I can talk to you about doing a podcast because I've lived and learned. I've made mistakes, had successes, shared them. I speak to students at these career days. That's what you can get involved with too. At these career days, and I've talked to them about who I once was in high school and who I am today now in high school, quite a few years later, quite a few decades later, and the difference that's there. So it's a good phone call, and the differences that are that have taken place in me over the years. And it's actually a radio station calling. That's why I'm kind of laughing over here because in high school I was shy. Mumbles was the nickname, and I carried that nickname for quite a while. I was a little bit more outspoken when it came to throwing a frisbee around and stuff like that. One time I got outspoken with my fists because someone stole my cookies, my Linden cookies. Love those cookies. But even those cookies have changed over the years. I don't think they're as good. Or maybe my taste buds have changed a little bit. But we change, we adapt, we move, we continue to move forward. And that was the big message I left those students at that time when I spoke at that school. I was Shoreham Wading River, actually, was the school on that one. But somehow, every time that I speak in front of these high school students, that message gets out. It's different each and every time, going back to the I don't have a routine thing. But it's different each and every time, depending upon the school, the focus, the students, whether I'm speaking with somebody or not. And I do the opening comments with somebody on various occasions. That's a lot of fun for me. But those others that speak at the tables when they're speaking to the students, it's amazing. And it's the impact that you have on those students today that you won't know. You won't know, but it could be an amazing long term impact. And that's where really you can get involved. So let's get specific over here. Where are we at? It's March. So in April, there is one event, Career Day at the Sachem High School. I forget which one of the Sachem High Schools, but the Sachem High School doing this with Maria Fry, the ECNY Foundation, ECNY Corp. Remember, I'm a board member of that. We're not looking to do, we will be doing a career day there. There are a number of companies participating already. If you are interested in doing that, by all means, love to have you come down. The idea there would be to have a wide variety of companies speaking about what it is you do, what it is that you've faced, challenges, why you do what you do, and that kind of thing. And not only that, sometimes it's a matter of, and this was a conversation I had before, but it was a conversation that was, if you work for XYZ company, what are the jobs that are in XYZ companies that you wouldn't think of? So we're discussing a food company as an example. One of the big companies that are around here that deliver mostly, let's say, to restaurants and stuff like that. So if you went to work for that food company, you would think you'd have to know something about food, right? Wrong. You don't have to know anything about food because you might not have anything to do with the food. You got to remember, those labels are produced by somebody, so maybe you're a graphics artist. Maybe you are a packaging person. You go figure out the absolute correct, most efficient size cardboard box or plastic box, depending. And maybe it's cardboard wrapped in plastic, should be for that product that's either fresh or frozen. And there's quite the difference. How thick should that cardboard be? How thin should the cardboard be? Is it a smooth cardboard? Is it more of a old roughish cardboard? How many should go in a box? You never would think of all the things that go along with that. And I don't mean product in a box. I mean, how many boxes of that product should go into the cardboard box that it ships in? Well, it depends on the weight, depends on the size of the box, it depends on a whole lot of things. And if it's really too heavy, then the person receiving that box really can't lift that box, so that's not good. Got personal experience in that world too now. Who knew? It's got to be a certain amount. Should it have holes? This way you can lift it up. Somebody's got to figure that out. So you might be a graphics artist. You might be a package designer. Also, those boxes have to be shipped. So somebody's involved with shipping. Somebody needs to have that organizational skills to make that happen. Somebody's going to control the inventory in the warehouse. It's true. What about the trucks? What about the trucks? Somebody's got to drive a truck, right? Yep. You might not even step foot in that building. And you could be employed by this company. Somebody's got to drive that truck. Somebody's got to make sure that truck runs. Somebody's got to put the graphics on the outside of that truck. Man, you got to be, you got to wrap a truck. I don't know if they wrap it or send it out to somebody, but who designs the look of the truck? Somebody's got to do that, right? Absolutely. And in this case, and these trucks are impeccably clean all the time. Somebody's got to clean those trucks. It's a career. I mean, it's a job. It could be a career. It's a big fleet, let me tell you. And if that company is so focused on making sure that those trucks are clean, because that is a reflection of the company, they may really, really highly regard that position to the point where that is a full-blown career. Who knew? Who knew? So if you really love washing cars, or your kid really loves washing cars, and say, Ma, Dad, I want to wash cars for a living. Don't just brush that aside. That person might grow up, your kid may grow up to own a car wash or a number of car washes. Maybe a whole franchise of car washes. Maybe they become the fleet cleaner for this company or any other company that's there. Boy, perception's so important. PR is so important. So, you just never know. His careers and everything. There was a company, the kid wanted to become couldn't take it into garbage collection, stuff like that. And he told this story. He's like, his parents were like, oh, come on, really? You're going to college, want you to do more than that. All right, he did. So now he actually owns a company, and it's not just collecting garbage, it's the recycling of the whole thing, making sure it's all done properly. There's a heck of a lot that goes into it. It's expanded out quite a bit too. Big time careers that are all over the place. So all kinds of possibilities. So you have this career day. So that's going to be in April. A bunch of things in April. Contact me for dates on these stuff. But Sachem, this high school career day. If you want to go there, just talk about your story. Great. If you can, if you're looking to hire people, high school students, great. If not, it's fine. We're just out there to kind of show the students what is around. So that is with the Maria Fry ECNY Foundation in Sachem in Mauritius, doing a career day with CEO Career Employment Options, Joel Kronberg, Nick Villano. So they're arranging that one. That one is also in April. That'll take place in May. In May at the HIA trade show, Hauppauge Industrial Association of Long Island trade show. Ron Loveland and the manufacturing committee are making a full-blown effort over here to talk about the jobs, careers that are available within the manufacturing on Long Island. So if you're interested, have somebody that might have an interest in a career inside of manufacturing, and that's wide open as to what manufacturing is. It's anything from the really technical to probably the delivery side of it, which is really important because stuff don't get delivered. Not good either. So you got the manufacturing group, and manufacturing is everything from the drug manufacturers to metal fabrication to aircraft, the aeronautics industry, automotive industry in there too. Great stuff. So it's a wide variety. So that's another one of interest. We're trying to get the message out to the school systems about that. We're seeing exactly how to go about doing that. But even if it doesn't take place at the May event, at the HIA trade show, where we have the high schools participating, things will happen on that one. So look for me, future events with that. Spoke to somebody else also that is very interested in arranging another high school career day. Not sure of the date on that one. It's not set. They're just discussing it. But that'll come up also, let's say, this school calendar year. So that'll be before June if that comes about. And as you might know, the drag racing that is taking place at EPCAL, that is the executive park out in Cavilton. That begins April 2nd, but along with that, still looking to promote and continually looking to promote the idea of the vocational aspect of that. In other words, the automotive programs that are inside of the high schools, the audiovisual programs that are inside of the high schools, even the event planning, food, all the rest of that stuff, hospitality, all of that factors into drag racing. Yes, it does. And you're thinking, no, it doesn't. And I'm saying, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because here's what happens is that people show up at the drag racing track and they got to eat, don't they? Food trucks. Multitude of food trucks that were there. If you have a food truck you're interested in, let me know. We'll do that thing. But multitude of food trucks were there. That's food, my friends. That is a rolling restaurant. And let me tell you, the food there was just unbelievable. These places, these food trucks were great. Great. I used to work in the city. There's food trucks all over the place. Big business. Huge business. Went to Philadelphia. Went to, what was it, Temple University. Visited their campus. There was food trucks all over the place. All over. Big business, let alone the restaurants. And also with the drag racing too. People come out to spend the weekend, they're going out to restaurants. So hospitality is a big deal in that whole thing. Certainly at the track, event planning, promotion, social media. How do you think people know about the drag racing? Got to find out about it, right? Somehow. That's social media promotion. It's another thing that's inside the high schools. Audiovisual, pictures, taking photos out there. Last year, I know there's a number of folks with cameras. There was one with the drone that was taking photos too. I'll tell you, I think you need a license to fly a drone camera, or you need to do it in certain places, whatever, something like that. But drone photography, business, photography, business, visual stuff, the audio visual cameras. Well, I got to tell you, I'm in favor of that. obviously. But all that stuff is there too. Oh, yeah, that's right. They got cars. Somebody's got to build a car, right? Build a car, learn how to read a blueprint, learn how to work with a team. Let's see, know how to weld. Then you got the audio graphics again, the visual graphics again that are going up on the car. But you maybe need a website in order to promote that, to get the rest of the school excited about it. Oh, logos. Whoa. It's limitless, isn't it? It's limitless what possibly a drag strip could do to help promote the school system and the vocational programs in the school system. And there's so many vocational programs inside the school systems. It's great. I would love to do an online event or do an in-person event with all the schools that are tied in with all the businesses to help out with these programs. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And you want to know who it's good for? All three parties. It's good for the school because now those teachers get a chance to reach out to the business. It's good for the students because those students can get inspired about what careers are in front of them. And it's good for the business because not only does it show that they're part of the community and it's good PR and all that stuff works, but they just might do what I'm asking you to do, is to share your story. Share your story. You just might inspire some student to go figure out what really drives them and to have them achieve unlimited success. And that's really important. Because if you get an employee that, not only are they an employee, they get that feeling of ownership and maybe ownership. Last story, then I'm going to go. This was, I think I can share the name, Bedgear. Bedgear. They make pillows, sheets, stuff like that. All kinds of material for the bed. You want to know how they got started? And it's Bedgear on Long Island. You want to know how they got started? Because Eugene, who owns that company, his son was having a problem sleeping. And he wanted to do whatever he possibly could in order to help his son sleep. So he designed bedding. Dad made it much more comfortable for his son. Well, I'm not going to say it was a hobby. That was not a hobby. That was a mission, to do that. Well, that mission to do that created the company Bedgear. And not only has Bedgear become a nice national company, they became an international company because he was solving a problem. He had an obstacle to get through, and he created an unbelievable opportunity. There are more. I'll continue sharing them. You should continue sharing yours. Call me if you want an opportunity to do it. You could do it right here. You could do it at a school event. You could do it at the hot dog thing. Maybe we could do it at the racetrack. But do it. Find a place for you to share your story. You may just inspire somebody. Do what you're doing best, my friends. And we'll end it the way we always end it. Speak well, speak often, and live inspired. And I got to go call the radio station. All right, let's go. Tomato. One tomato coming up.